Hello and welcome to this edition or lesson to my PHP tutorials. This is lesson 2. Today we'll be learning about arrays, which are multiple variables put into one variable, which will be called an array. So let's get stuck in, make a new document. And one way of making an array is putting in a variable name, but before we go into that, make sure you don't use any of these variable names because they're already taken. Usually they're not that used, to be honest, because they have an underscore, so you're not likely going to be using it. So just put in array equals, and then the command of making an array is obviously just array, and then open brackets. And then to add in a array, use open quotations and then put in the value. So let's put in names like Ted, and you separate each variable with a comma. Let's put in Andy and one more Will. Okay, now we need to count how many arrays there are with another variable. Let's call it array count equals, and then use the count command. It's just typing in count, and it should go bold green once you type it in. And then you open brackets again and put in the array name, which in this case is just array, semicolon, remember. Now for us to echo each one, we need to make a variable, which doesn't matter, let's just call it I, and give it 0, a value of 0. Pretty simple. Now we need to make it so that it loops to echo each variable in the array. So we use the while command for that. So just type in while and then open brackets. This is where some maths comes in, unfortunately, so people who aren't steady with maths, try and keep up. You put in I, the I variable, and then you need to put in the less than command, less than or equal to the array count variable. I'll explain that later. I'm just going to put in the code, then open up curly brackets, that's what they're called, and then put in echo array, open square brackets, because that's how you read arrays, they're always stored in square brackets, and then put in I variable. I'll explain that in a second. And then put in I plus plus, which means increment by 1. Minus minus, if you put in minus minus, that will minus by 1. So in this case, the I variable will increase by 1. So once this is executed, and this means if this condition is true, it will do this command, and it will keep on doing it until this this condition is false, and then it'll move on. So here we have I, which is set to 0, is less than or equal to the array count, which is counted by here. So in this case it will be 3. So at the moment, if we just get rid of these variable values, it will be 0 and 3. So if 0 is less than 3, which it is, it will execute the command. And then that will go up by 1, and it will keep on going up. And here, it will put in the number. So let's just test it out and you'll see for yourselves. Let's call it array. Let's upload it. Let's go on to array.php. And there you have it. Ted, Andy, Will, they'll all say it. To make it look a bit neater, let's separate it by a line breaking. The dot basically means that when you echo something, it'll know that you're separating an echo, a value or a variable from text. So BR is just stands for line break. So upload that again. Reload, and there we go. As you can see, they're all displayed, and there's no errors. So that's one simple way of doing arrays. You can also do various other ways, like array. You can put in the name, so you can put in red equals red. There's not much point in this, it's just you can categorize when you call your arrays. Let's make another one green equals green. So when you echo array, open square brackets, and green, for instance, save that and upload it. Hasn't said anything. Why has it done that? Oh, that might be why. Missed out on N. Upload that again. And there you go, green. As you can see that it's very sensitive, and I'll show you what happens if you miss out a semicolon. It's very annoying. If you have 2,000 lines of code and you miss out a semicolon, it can be very frustrating. We'll come up with this. You won't know what it means because you don't on line 11, which is this. Because you've done a command by setting that, and then it's going straight onto an echo, which it won't know what to do with because you haven't got a semicolon there. So that's simples of basics of arrays, really. Next lesson I'll be doing file uploads, really. That'll be the first software that you can learn to do. I'll show you the software actually, because I've already made it. As you can see, there's a submit form. You can just put in card, whatever, submit. Just uploading it. Go on. But yeah, what's going on here is it's storing it on a temporary file folder, which I'll go in depth later on. It's taking quite a while. Try something quite small actually. Let's just upload that. Yeah, let's just upload that array thing again. Submit. Should be quicker. Perhaps not. It's taking quite a while for some reason. Alright, I'll talk to you about this later actually. I'll talk to you about this in the next tutorial. Oh, there we go. As you can see, it's 2 megabytes, so it took quite a while. Stored on here, and I'll tell you how to do this later on the next tutorial. So, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.